Welcome to ANS Solver question 5 of this paper. So for part A, they are asking us to write this as a single fraction in its simplest form. So let's do that. How we do that is we have to take the LCM, and to do that we need to cross multiply. So we will write this as x plus 3 multiplied by x plus 2 because that's the denominator in the other fraction, minus x minus 2 multiplied by x minus 3 because that is the denominator in the first fraction. The whole thing divided by x minus 3 multiplied by x plus 2. Now the denominator you can leave as it is if you want. You can even expand it if you want because it will still be written as a single fraction. But the numerator you have to simplify it. So x multiplied by x will be x square. X multiplied by 2 will be plus 2x. 3 multiplied by x will be plus 3x. 3 multiplied by 2 will be plus 6 minus x multiplied by x, which is x square. Negative 3x, negative 3 multiplied by x is negative 3x. Negative 2 multiplied by x is negative 2x. And negative 2 multiplied by negative 3 is positive 6. So now the whole thing divided by x minus 3 multiplied by x plus 2. Now we need to simplify this. So x square, 2x plus 3x is equal to 5x plus 6 minus x square. Now minus 3x minus 2x is equal to minus 5x. Minus 5x multiplied by minus 1 is equal to positive 5x. And negative 1 multiplied by positive 6 is negative 6. So the 6 and 6 will get cancelled. The 6 and positive 6. My bad. The positive 6 and the negative 6 will get cancelled. Now the x square and the x square, negative x square and x square will get cancelled. So we will be left with the denominator x minus 3 multiplied by x plus 2. Therefore your final answer for part A will be 5x plus 5x, which is 10x, whole thing divided by x minus 3 multiplied by x plus 2. And therefore let's move to part B now. So for part B we have to find the value of k, so let's solve for k. So since it is 2 raised to 12 divided by 2 raised to k by 2, we can take the 2 raised to 12 to the other side of the equation. So therefore it will be 2 raised to k by 2 is equal to 2 raised to 12 divided by 32. Now 2 raised to 12 divided by 32 is 128. So we can say 2 raised to k by 2 is equal to 128. Now if an equation is written in the form log of x y is equal to z, it means that x raised to z is equal to y. Or you could say that you can write it in a different form, that is without the log, or vice versa. So if it is in the second form, you can write it in the log form. Now to find the value of k, we need to write it in the log form. So therefore we write k divided by 2 is equal to log of 128 with the base 2. So it is very important to remember this rule, otherwise you won't be able to solve similar questions like this rule. It's basically just another way to write your equation that has an exponent with the variable, or if your equation has log. So let's solve this now. So k by 2 is therefore equal to, you can simply put log of 128 to the base 2 in your calculator. So log 128 to the base 2 is equal to 7. So we can say k by 2 is equal to 7, and therefore k is equal to 2 multiplied by 7, which is 14. Therefore this is your final answer for part B. Now let's move to part C, where they are asking us to expand the brackets. So the easiest way to do this is to expand two brackets first and then expand the last one. So let's expand y plus 3y minus 4. So y multiplied by y is y square. Negative 4 multiplied by y is negative 4y. Positive 3 multiplied by y is positive 3y. And positive 3 multiplied by negative 4 is equal to negative 12. This whole thing multiplied by 2y minus 1. So we will be left with y square minus y, because minus 4 plus 3 is equal to negative 1. So minus y square minus y, minus 12 multiplied by 2y minus 1. So now y square multiplied by 2y will be 2y square. Y square multiplied by negative 1, y square multiplied by 2y will be 2y cube. Y square multiplied by negative 1 will be negative y square. Negative y multiplied by 2y will be negative 2y square. Negative 2y square. Negative y multiplied by negative 1 will be positive y. Negative 12 multiplied by 2y will be negative 24y. Negative 24y, and negative 12 multiplied by negative 1 will be positive 12. So 2y cube minus 3y square minus 23y plus 12. So this will be our final answer for part C. So this is really simple. All you need to remember is to expand two brackets first, simplify that, and then multiply it with the third bracket. And therefore this will be our final answer, that is 2y cube minus 3y square minus 23y minus plus 12. Just move this a bit here. Yeah. So this will be our final answer for part C. Now let's move to part D. So for part D, they are asking us to make x the subject of the formula. So let's take y to the other side of the equation first. So it will become xy is equal to 3 plus x. Now let's group together the x variable. So let's take x to the other side of the equation. So it will become xy minus x, because positive will become negative, is equal to 3. Now let's take x common from this from the left hand side of the equation. So if you do xy divided by x, you'll be left with x, and negative x divided by x, you'll be left with negative 1, which is equal to 3. So now you can take the y minus 1 to the other side of the equation. So therefore x is equal to 3 divided by y minus 1. This is because if you take multiplication to the other side of the equation, it will become division, and therefore 3 divided by y minus 1 will be our final answer for part D of this question. Therefore these are all your answers for question 5 of this question.